AI agents, they're popping up everywhere, right? Promising to write our code, manage our schedules, and just totally revolutionize our businesses. But with all this new autonomous power comes a bit of a chaotic wild west of risks. So today, enterprises are asking this one critical question. How can we actually trust them? Let's dive into the new playbook being written right now to answer that very question.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the dilemma that businesses are facing, then look at why we so desperately need a new playbook. After that, we'll explore a new standard called AIUC 1, see how the government's NIST standards fit in, and then we'll wrap up by looking at how this all comes together to build real confidence in AI.
And this quote, it just nails the problem. Businesses are stuck, caught between the incredible promise of what AI agents can do and this very real fear of the unknown. They see all the potential, but they're paralyzed because there are no clear rules. It's a classic case of analysis paralysis. So let's really dig into that dilemma. What exactly are the risks that are keeping business leaders up at night? Because let me tell you, these aren't just theoretical anymore.
I mean, we're seeing these AI fails hit the headlines, and they're not small mistakes. You've got an Air Canada chatbot that literally just invented a refund policy, which, ended up costing the company real money. Then there's Google's Gemini creating some bafflingly inaccurate historical images. And a Workday AI was actually found to be discriminating against job candidates. These aren't just little bugs. They're huge business and brand risks.
So, you can see how it all boils down to this one simple but incredibly complicated question. It's the question that every single security officer, lawyer, and business leader has to answer before they let an autonomous agent loose in their company's systems. Can we really, truly trust it?
And when we really break down that lack of trust, this is what it looks like in the real world. We're talking about leaking sensitive company data, we're talking about AI hallucinations giving you bad info, and of course, security threats like jailbreaks. But it goes deeper. It's also about agents taking actions they weren't supposed to, creating biased or unsafe content, and this huge problem of, well, who's accountable when something inevitably goes wrong?
Okay, so this totally new class of risks demands a completely new playbook. The old rules we had for traditional software, they just don't cut it anymore. And here's the real reason why.
So this is the game changer right here. It's this idea of delegated authority. See, unlike old software, AI agents aren't just tools we use. They are, for all intents and purposes, non-human actors working inside our systems. Think about it this way. You're not just using a tool to book a flight anymore. You're now telling an agent, hey, book me the best flight to London next week, and you're trusting it to go into your calendar, access your credit card info, and make the purchase all by itself. That autonomy is what makes them so incredibly powerful, but it's also what opens up all these brand new avenues for risk.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly explains the solution that the industry is starting to rally around. We need a clear, reliable signal of trust, something like a SOC 2 report. For years, SOC 2 has been the gold standard that proves a cloud company is handling your data securely. So what everyone is saying is, we need that for AI agents, a familiar solution for a very new, very complex problem.
And wouldn't you know it, that call has been answered. So let's take a look at the industry-led solution that's really starting to get some traction, a new standard called AIUC 1.
So AIUC 1 is designed to be exactly that, the SOC 2 for AI. But here's the really important part. It's not just a bunch of high-level ideas or principles. It is the world's first certifiable standard for AI agents. And that means companies can actually go through independent audits and technical tests to prove, with evidence, that their agents meet a really high bar for safety and security.
And this whole thing creates a complete ecosystem of trust. It starts with having clear standards. Everyone knows what the rules are. Then you have independent audits and really tough adversarial testing to make sure those standards are actually being met. And finally, and this is so crucial, the results from those audits are tied directly to insurance liability. That creates a massive financial incentive for companies to build safer AI. It puts real money on the line.
And the standard itself is incredibly thorough. You can see here it covers 6 core principles. So this isn't just about security or data privacy as separate issues. It's about making sure the agent is reliable, that it's safe, that it's accountable, and that it even considers its impact on society. It's really a full 360-degree view of what it means for an AI to be truly trustworthy.
But, the industry isn't building this playbook all on its own. The U.S. government, through the National Institute of Standards and Technology, you'll hear them called NIST, is also playing a really crucial role in building out this whole new ecosystem. NIST's mission is, well, it's a bit more big picture.
They're focused on nurturing the entire ecosystem. They want to make sure AI agents can work together smoothly and securely, not just inside one company, but across the entire digital world. You can think of it like they're building the roads and the bridges for the new AI economy, and of course, making sure the US stays in the driver's seat.
So their strategy kind of breaks down into three main pillars. First, they help guide and facilitate those industry-led standards we were just talking about. Second, they're pushing for open protocols so that agents from different companies can actually talk to each other. And third, they fund that deep foundational research we need to solve the really hard problems like agent security and identity.
Okay, so we have the industry's AIUC 1, and we have the government's NIST framework. How in the world do these two major initiatives fit together? Let's take a look at how they create a complete picture of trust.
You know, the easiest way to think about it is like two sides of the same coin. The NIST frameworks are foundational. They provide the high-level governance, you could call it the why. Why do we need to manage AI risk? Then you have AIUC 1, which is operational. It provides the specific, actionable, and testable controls. That's the how. How do you actually do it? So you see, they don't compete at all. They complement each other perfectly.
And when you put them together, that's when you get what we can call a confidence infrastructure. And this is the real takeaway here. It's a system that takes those important but kind of abstract goals like trustworthy AI and turns them into something real, something concrete, a certificate, an audit report, a test result that a business can actually use to make a confident decision.
So the playbook for AI trust, it's not a blank page anymore. For the very first time, there's a clear, actionable path for businesses to build and adopt AI agents safely. The question really isn't if we can trust AI anymore. The real question is which companies will be the first to prove that they're worthy of it.